Well, hey everyone, this is Dr. Shelley Plumb. I'd like to welcome you all back to this segment of From the Hip. I am so excited today. We have a Billboard recording artist with us. We have Kendra Erika with us, and I am incredibly excited. She has done so much in her life, and we are going to talk to her about a couple things. We're going to talk to her about social media. More importantly, we're going to talk about balance and her struggles as a recording artist. So in a moment, we will be back with Kendra Erika. Well, we are back, and we are here with Kendra. How are you, Kendra?
Good. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. I have been really following your career, and I'll tell you what, you're a singer, you're a songwriter.
Yes.
And let me ask you, just starting out, how did you get into the field?
Well, like any young girl with aspirations and seeing many different people on film, on TV, just doing something so with a lot of expression.
Yes.
It was something that I was intrigued to get into.
Right.
And so I just started with the lovely support of my parents, getting into community theater, doing some school performances as well. And then it just kept on evolving to the point where I was writing and recording my own music and getting vocal training and just constantly meeting different people to progress
And build your career,
Yes.
right? It's incredible. And I know, for viewers out there that may not know you as closely as we do, you have some top 10, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
on Billboard actually, and that was, it was something that I saw as a stepping stone.
Really, yes.
And as something that really, validated some credential.
Yes, and it had to.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine that since your career is starting to escalate,
Yes.
and you're doing so many wonderful things that,
Thank you.
a lot of people, we see you on social media.
Yes.
And social media, unfortunately, sometimes can take over our lives. And social media has been valuable for you, though, right?
Yes, it's. A lot of people there, especially with my video Authentic,
Yes.
that came out. A lot of people are like, "Oh, are you against it? Are you against it?" And the fact of the matter is that I'm not against it. I'm just sort of not against, but the issues that I have, and I'm sure that a lot of people do have as well, is that separation between person and persona.
Right.
And it is a very good tool for information and connection and outreach, and just it's a really helpful mechanism for your business, for any sort of connections. But what it's turned into is a breeding ground for bullying, for jealousy, for depression, and for a lot of mental health stigmas that are unfortunately infecting our society right now.
Right.
Especially with the escalating amount of suicides.
That's true. So when you say the difference between person and persona, what do you mean exactly?
Well, on social media, we all have this avatar. We create our own little, profile, our own character,
Yes.
and on who we want to, portray, and who we want to put out there.
Right.
And my whole thing is I like to keep who I am as a person and the persona of the brand very, 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 very consistent.
Yes.
Just so that it's not draining on me to keep on flipping the light switch
Right.
every single day. And I feel that a lot of people, they struggle with that because they do find this solace and they do find comfort in just becoming another person.
Can I ask a question, and this is actually a fairly deep question, and I don't know the answer to it, is we have in Hollywood experienced over the years tragedies with respect to, some celebrities taking their lives, that type of thing. Yeah. In your opinion, being at the level that you're at, does that have, do you think, anything to do with someone not being able to separate person from persona? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, what their struggles is that people, because they're being labeled and sort of contracted.
Sure, yeah.
However the case may be, when they're dealing with certain business projects or creative projects, they're contracted to be a certain way.
Right.
And that certain way has been statistically proven or whatever for Americans or for society to easily digest that as a persona.
Yes.
And what I found is that we've become a society that glorifies personas over and public figures over the real and true person who that individual is.
Right.
As soon as they show a sign of vulnerability and a humanistic quality about them, that's when everybody turns their heads and
That's a shame, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
And what I've tried to really do is to learn vicariously through that whole process that I've witnessed, and just not judge it, but just learn vicariously through it, so I can be the better person, and then hopefully lead people into doing something that is authentic, that is consistent.
Right.
So.
You know what I see you as?
Yeah.
I mean, just speaking to you, watching you online, you're a role model. Do you think of yourself as a role model?
I mean, I only want to set the best example, and that's by being human. I mean, I don't want to stand up here with a sash and a tiara being like, oh, hi, look at me, look at me.
Right.
I just want to be human.
Yes.
And acknowledge my faults, my shortcomings, because we all have those.
Yes.
We're not perfect, and we can filter our selfies as much as possible, but at the end of the day, you're human.
That is true. What we here at the studio know, what we term it is we are perfectly imperfect.
Yes.
And that's okay, because that really makes us who we are. We all have gifts, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. And all of it really, just speaking to you, it's about balance, isn't it? I mean, like you said, social media has its positives, but it also, if there's too much of it, it can have its negatives as well. So how do you balance yourself on social media? Do you set criteria, I'll only be on social media at certain times, or how do you create balance?
Well, with spending time with the quality people in my life, such as my family and close friends, I only want to remain positive and mindful of that separation.
Sure.
Because when you bring too much of it into your personal life, that's where it sort of is like a contagion, and it can infect and manifest into something that it really shouldn't be.
Right.
So I just like to be as mindful as possible, and I like to be as profound as I can on social media, because I just like to provoke thought. I like to throw the apple of discord a little bit, just to rattle people, but in a tasteful way, and also in a very conscientious way.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah, like I'm not here to, post political opinions. And I actually recently just posted, I was like, if you want good old classic petty conversation, talk to a Republican or a Democrat.
Oh.
If you want rational conversation,
Right.
talk to a centrist, someone that sees the both sides
Right.
and that weighs everything out, because we are dealing with a balance here.
Yes.
And we need to constantly create that balance of light and dark.
That is
So.
true. That is very true. And with regards to social media, everyone has their crystal ball, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where social media is going and
Yeah.
what's going to be hot tomorrow, and that type of
very
thing.
fast-paced.
Yeah. What do you see? What do you see?
Well, I just see like too many trends going on.
Right,
Like
yes.
I'm not seeing the iconicism anymore, or timelessness of things. Because everything is so flash in the pan
Yes.
right now. And what's, like you said, what's hot today, what's hot tomorrow.
It's almost like if you blink, it
Yeah.
changed.
It changed.
It is. It's hard to really grasp on to one thing.
Yeah.
It's true. Yes.
And it's and I can only say that we're a society of broadcasting and not so much breaking through anymore.
I love that. Say
Yeah.
that again. It's not broadcasting. It's
Well, we need to start breaking through instead of broadcasting.
that is true. Yes. Right.
And being very aware of just time in general.
Right.
Because time is the currency.
You know what it is too is because I've seen some of your videos and your work and all of that, and with social media, how I like to describe it, it's almost like a lot of it is shock and
Yes.
awe.
Mhm.
But what I like about you is there's shock and awe, but then there's thought-provoking, meaning there's a purpose to that. If that makes any sense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to stimulate the mind and not so much the eyes, because what's happening right now is that we're listening with our eyes, and our eyes always deceive us.
That is true. And we're not listening with our heart, are we?
We're not listening with our heart, and especially in music nowadays, it's all about the visual shock factor.
Sure,
You
yes.
know, like let's let's have someone shake their booty on stage,
Right.
and wear this type of outfit or whatever. And it's become more of a spectacle and not so much about the music anymore.
Right.
The song could have such a great beat, but the lyrics could be like I saw a squirrel today, whatever, just something, just something totally random, just totally not like relative to any sort of growth or progression.
Purpose, yes.
Yeah, purpose.
I
yeah.
agree. I agree 100%.
So
Kendra, we're going to take this opportunity to take a break, and
Okay.
a message from our sponsor, and we
Yes.
will be right back. Microgerm Defense is a green antimicrobial product. It is approved by the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency and comparable regulatory bodies around the world. It wipes out 99.99% of harmful germs and viruses with its non-stop active protection. The process for application is easy, fast, and safe. For more information, email info@microgermdefense.com or call 1-855-282-3338. All right. Well, the B word, balance. We're talking about balance in social
Balance, yeah.
media, and I really thank you for joining us today. So for our viewers
pleasure.
that are out there and they're struggling with social media and they're like, I don't know how to put down that phone, is there any tips that you would give them?
Well, I struggle with it as well, because me being a millennial, it's become sort of like a remote control device. It's like society is the kid with the remote control, and we're like the cars,
Right. I like that. Yes.
And just waiting to see what we'll do what we'll do next if the car is going to wreck, you know. But I really do have to say that when you do find yourself just like out of like boredom or whatever, just checking and scrolling through hundreds of feeds across your numerous platforms, just, you know, take that time to like just breathe and take a walk, or, you know, actually, you know, call someone, talk to someone, you know, instead
Which
of...
is becoming a lost art, isn't it?
Yeah. Like, we have our phones, but we don't even use them to call people anymore, really. So, and yeah, just going back to, once again, that foundation of why is it there?
Yes.
Why do we have this? Going back to that foundation and going back to basics. Going back to basics will prevent us from becoming basic. So
I love that. I love that. Back to the basics.
Yes.
So we'll leave our viewers with that. So if people are watching us and they are so curious about what you do, they want to hear you, where would you point them?
To my website, KendraErika.com, my Facebook and Instagram, Twitter. I'm on YouTube, Spotify, SoundCloud, iTunes. So basically, if you Google me, things will pop up.
That's great. Oh, that's fantastic. So I really thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been great.
Yes.
Thank you.
My pleasure. And thank you. Thank you all.
This has been wonderful, hasn't it? I tell you what, I struggle with that balance we were talking about earlier with Kendra, the balance where, you know, that phone seems to be calling to me all the time to get on there, but then I find that some of my relationships are failing because of it, because I'm not spending that time with friends and loved ones that I need to. So our big thanks from the PlumbTalk team to Kendra for discussing that with her, and we wish her the best of luck. So until next time, this is Dr. Shelley Plumb. This has been another segment of From the Hip. We will see you soon.